And I'd just like to introduce Caroline from the Norfolk Library Service.
Hello, thanks Amelia. I'd just like to say that as a library service, we use the distribution lists that Rosemary produces and find them really helpful to get sort of all our activities and events out and about into the sort of public awareness. So yeah, I'd really recommend them. So I'm going to attempt to share my screen because I've got a short presentation to share with you. So I'm going to turn my video off. I also have had a message today from our broadband provider saying that our connection might be a bit dodgy today. So I really hope that I won't get lost at any point. Right, so I'm going to share my screen. And in a minute it should appear. Maybe Amelia, are you okay to
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
yeah, thank you.
I will just have to do that thing of hoping that the bit at the top is that working? Can you see the whole?
Yeah, that's working now. Yeah,
excellent. So I just really want to cover some information about how libraries can help you to connect with communities. So as it says on the slide, I'd like to cover what we do and how you can benefit from our service. I've seen lots of people arrive into this meeting who I know already use libraries lots, so you know I will be preaching to the converted, but hopefully you know there'll be some information here that you don't already know that I can surprise you with. I just wanted to run through what does the public library do. I mean, if you haven't visited for a fair few years, you might still just think that we are solely a place to loan out books, and that we're a place where you have to be quiet and studious, but we're certainly not like that anymore. So libraries offer a safe, neutral and free space where you can just be, or you can take the opportunity to develop your potential. I don't think there are many spaces left where you can just, you know, go in for free and sit and read, you know, or go onto a computer and you know, take the opportunity to learn something. I think most places that you go into these days, you know, you're required to buy a coffee, and you might be frowned upon if you're sitting there for longer than the end of your coffee cup. So yeah, we probably are one of the only spaces left that are totally free to sort of to come into. We're also libraries, as well as being a library service, we are an information service as well. So we're a trustworthy source of information and can also signpost you on to other organisations. I read recently that 93% of Britons think that, or they trust librarians to tell them the truth. And I thought that's great. And I also thought that's a lot of pressure. Libraries are also heavily involved in reducing social isolation. So we have lots of free events and activities that people can come along to. We also take referrals in from NCAN, which is the Norfolk Community Advice Network. So people who belong to that network can refer people into libraries to help them if they would like to make sort of more sort of contact with other people. So people can be referred into us for that. But also we're very fun, creative and entertaining spaces. So, you know, obviously you can come in and borrow books and DVDs, but we also have lots of groups and activities running in libraries, from bounce and rhyme to adult colouring groups, knitting groups, drawing groups, lots of things going on. So my next slide is just about supporting your work as well, and how you know, libraries have free Wi-Fi, so you can come in and, you know, make use of libraries as a space to work in. You just need to use your library card and your PIN number to access our Wi-Fi. We also have computers that you can use for free. Again, just need to use your library card and your PIN number. We have printing in libraries, so the cost for printing, it's like 20p for black and white and 50p for colour printing. I think our printers, they will photocopy, and I think you can scan and email documents to yourself, which is very useful. Most libraries have additional rooms that they can that can be booked out to people. So we have meeting rooms that you can hire from us. So, you know, if you don't have your own space to hold meetings, then you can get in touch with your local library and see what space they have available for you to rent out. And one of the most exciting things, in my own opinion, is our open library service. So this is something that sort of started up before COVID and obviously got promptly shut down during the pandemic, but we now have our open libraries up and running again. And this means that you can have your library card activated so that you can access a library during our unstaffed times. It's not like a 24-hour-a-day access. It tends to be on days when the library might be closed or times in the morning before the library opens. So for lots of libraries that open at 10 in the morning, it means people can go in from 8 o'clock in the morning and start making use of them. So in the unstaffed times, in open library times, you have complete access to the computers, you can borrow books, you can pretty much do everything that you would do during staff times other than speak to a member of staff. So yeah, and if you want your library card set up for open libraries, you can just pop in and speak to a member of staff in your local library, or you can give us a call. And that number is 01603 774777. Open libraries isn't available to under 16s, unfortunately, but I think it's quite good that it's available to everyone else. So the main point of you coming to this meeting is to find out about how you can engage with local communities. So within libraries, you could engage communities by visiting our existing groups and talking to people there. So we have, every library in Norfolk runs a weekly Just a Cuppa session where people can pop in and just sit down, have a cup of tea or coffee and just get talking to other people. So, you know, you could visit a group like that. We have knitting groups, colouring groups, we have baby bounce and rhyme groups. So, you know, there's always the opportunity to come in and speak to people once they've finished at those groups, or for sort of a group like Just a Cuppa, you could come along and talk to people during that session. We also have organisations that will pop in and have an information stand in the library. That's certainly something that Health Watch have done previously, and lots of other organisations have done the same. Or you could work with us collaboratively on something. So, you know, sometimes we'll work with people on a funding bid, or we can host events and activities that you want to put on in libraries. So a few of the partnerships that we've had so far are with people like Mind. Public Health do provide Norfolk Libraries with a budget so that we can help to promote public health messages, and we have a project called Healthy Libraries that runs across the county, and so yeah, that's our opportunity to support public health. Adult education, they sometimes run classes in libraries, and again we often promote their activities and courses. We've had theatre companies sort of coming in and working with us. UEA, we've often linked up with them as well to support us with sort of evidence-based work and projects. We're currently working with the Norfolk Autism Partnership around having autism champions in libraries and running regular meetups for people with autism and their friends and family. Creative Arts East, Active Norfolk, which I think is in the picture on there actually. I think that's one of the, looks like a Tai Chi class going on in a library. And as I mentioned before, we've had Health Watch come in and have an information stand. So I mean, the main way to work with your local library is to go in and speak to a member of staff. Library managers are particularly receptive to kind of, you know, people coming in with ideas on how they would like to sort of support libraries or run activities in libraries. I've put our email up there, our main email, you know, because it might be that you want to work not just with one library, you might want to do something across several libraries. So that's the main email address for that. But this will all be recorded in the presentation, so you can, if you've missed that, you can catch up with it later. So I just wanted to finish with sort of, if you want to get a full picture about what goes on in libraries and the diverse work and rather amazing work, as I would like to think of it. So you can search online for Norfolk Library Service and you'll find out everything that's going on in libraries. We have a good what's on page and also have a booking system now on that page for people to book onto activities. And Libraries Connected is sort of the national organisation that oversees kind of the development of work in public libraries. And I love this this quote from their page, which says that libraries are at the heart of communities, reflecting and responding to local needs. They get more visits each year than any other cultural service, with a reach that extends right across income brackets, ages and ethnicities. They play an important role in promoting well-being and community cohesion by producing a range of cultural activities with their local communities and providing many with access to vital online services. There we go. So I'm just going to stop sharing at this point so that I can answer a few questions, because I haven't looked at the chat at all. So Amelia, you might have to help me with questions that might have come in along the way.